How's it going, guys? I'm Kid Clark, or Cal Clark, whatever you want to call me. Welcome to episode 28, a true, quotation marks, true GTS O.G. Why is it called that? Well, there's going to be a GTS Superstar that recently returned on GTS that's going to be on this podcast episode later on. And then the name is the Pain in the Ass Kid, or Pita Kid for short. I guess it kind of stemmed from, I guess, going at a convention and Sandman's telling him he was a pain in the ass or a wrestling convention. But Pita Kid is a veteran. I believe he was actually the early days of GTS when he had a ring in Super Grand Yard that far back where he shielded that shield attire, you know? And he's back better than ever after a broken ribs and had to be sidelined for a while. Now he's back and he wants to take Grimm's title. After he goes and faces Mikey Energy at Rage in the Cage for the legendary U2 Heavyweight Championship. But is he going to be successful? Well, you're going to have to find out at Rage in the Cage. So, I'll tell you a little bit about what happened recently in pro wrestling. Hold on. I was trying to get Marshall. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna put this here and let me just hold a second. I need to message somebody. Hold on a second. Okay, as I was saying, there is a lot of GTS O.G that came back recently. Well, you would call, what defines as an OG? Well, it kind of differs in different ways. Would you be a GTS OG if you've been around for a couple of years? If you've been a GTS OG if you are a veteran of the wrestling business? Would you be a GTS OG if you've been around for so long? You left? Was like a part timer? Who knows? Different definitions to different people. You know? There are a lot of superstars today, like Jeff Bravo. He just recently returned on GTS, which Grimm said he thought he was actually retired. He did a one show um in, in the wrestling business. Was it the last year? I remember Jeff Bravo when he was when he was in the warehouse days, and now he's back and he just wrestled a match. Just wrestled a match, and now there's other people like LJ Wash, which I can relate to a bit. Apparently, he's like a Michael Jackson kind of like finesse type of character where he just you know beat the meat or whatever. It's like a kind of a rated R type of character, if I'm not mistaken. Um, But I think there's a lot of others that just returned. So Ron Voyage, I don't know if he's actually back full time or if he's just here for a short stint. Just like how I think how Pat McAfee is on Monday Night Raw. The reason why he was not on the recent Monday Night Raw was because of a death in the family or the family emergency, to put it more professionally. So there there is a lot of people that have went through GTS. So so there's a lot of superstars that are willing to break out into the indie scene. So I gotta tell you, there's a lot of superstars that could be main event potential. There are a lot of caliber wrestlers that me and Marshall know. We both watch GTS. So sorry about that. I was kind of talking to Marshall as I'm live. Um, so in wrestling today, apparently AEW has had a 500,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is statistically their lowest in a recent memory. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. So GTS is one of the best wrestling companies that I've seen since 2021. I think I've known what existed, but I've just started watching it from like January or February. Because I think it was right after the Regal Rumble of that year. And I saw people like Lauren Spiral, Vince Series, Lucha Laraza, Francesca Chini, who else? Tanner Wilson. Oh, sorry, Tanner Filson now. Apparently, he's his Grimm's physical therapist now. And with the recent stuff with Lacey, it is confirmed now that Lacey is actually gonna have a match with Tina, with Grimm's wife Tina, in a steel cage, with both their jobs on the line. There is a lot of anticipation surrounding it. Of course, with Killer K gonna face off against Doo-Wop. See, Killer K, I remember him. He was, I think he was a referee at one point, and now he just destroyed everybody. And he just had a match against LJ Wash. You know, if you've seen, I'm not going to give any spoilers to you, and I'm just not going to give any spoilers on who won. If you I've watched it, if you insist, I'm basically he won due to interference by Grimm. So there are a lot, and I feel like I'm really redundant in saying, you know, there There's a lot of potential in Killer K. Killer K was fired, was released initially, actually, back in 2022, 2023, I think. And now he's back, and he's just been wrestling now. Apparently, Grimm had a bone to pick with him because he's Rad Dad's best friend. They thought he was the special guest referee for him and Rad Dad's match. But no, it is not a Clash of the White Castle. It was actually Jungle Jim, which I would have. It would make sense because they pulled the little um AJ Styles type thing when he faced Undertaker at WrestleMania. A few weeks later, popped up on television again. You know, I honestly think that there is a lot of potential in GTS, and there is. I mean, their viewer base, their viewers are not as what it used to be back in its peak, but I think there are still eyes on GTS. They've had people like Red Titus. They've had people like the Shook Crew, Max Caster, Bobby Orlando, James Ellsworth, Robbie E., now known as Dr. Robert Stone. And now there's people that you didn't expect on GTS. I remember the day when me and Marshall interviewed James Ellsworth for one of our first Wrestling Round podcasts. Not going to say one of our first, but it was not the first. The first one was actually Lawrence Spiral, who came up with the idea. I credit him for me creating this podcast, so I will forever credit. And now the Wrestling Around podcast has evolved since then, even though it was kind of on and off. But I'll say this much that talking to Rad Dad and learning about the stories that he's been through. And I look back at Irvin Legend's interview. Apparently, he was I think Restream or Zoom wasn't the best thing because I couldn't hear him. I could hear my voice, but I couldn't hear his. But I was talking to him. Me and him were talking. I don't know. You could maybe barely hear him if you turned your volume all the way up. But it was a blast interviewing wrestlers, even if it's GTS, independent scene, in the indie stars, or like former WWE superstars or ECW alumni. I've actually gotten a blast doing it, even though sometimes I am not 100%, you know? But I don't know if Marshall Danger is going to join us momentarily. That is up to him if he is watching this. So it is your choice if you want to pop in and want to just be on when you want to talk with Pita Kid. That is fine. You know, I know you and me both knew him when he was wrestling. And I've known him, no, not known him, but like known about him when I look back at the GTS when he first got a ring in the backyard of the Supergrams. But now, all right. So, as I was saying, the stuff with pro wrestling today, we've lost a pioneer in the wrestling business. His name is Sika Anua'i. Sika Inuai was the father of Roman Reigns and one half of the Wild Samoans, and is a WWE Hall of Famer, and rightfully so, because Sika and Afa people, have trained a lot of people, upstart wrestlers. I could just go up in a cage match and look at how much he's trained. Hold on 1 second. Let me look up Sika Inuai. So, Sika Inuai actually trained a lot of people. He trained 14 people. It says here. It says Michael Hayes, Samu, Tama, Yokozuna, Lou Babiano, Alofa, Bobby Doll, Jackhammer, Kevin Northcutt, D Ray 3000, Brian Blade, CJ O'Doyle, Jay Fleer, I think that's his, and Bo Nakota. According to Cage Match, there might be more, but that's not maybe not documented. But often Zika helped train all the people that you know today on the indie scene. You know, a big chunk of them. They were mentors to wrestlers. They were mentors because they've got a lot of experience in the wrestling business. And with that much experience, there are a lot of things to learn from them. Like from Terry Funk. He recently left us last year, but Terry Funk is a man of longevity. He's been in the business over 50 years. His father and his brother, Dory Funk Sr. and Jr., respectively, were in this business for so long. And Dory Funk Sr. laid the groundwork for his both two sons and several other wrestlers in the Texas area. But now, with all these mentors, this is just telling us cherish what you have of the people that you mentored. They might not be around to see you. They may not be around to do any more matches or like around, you know, you never know because there are a lot of stuff that has been happening in the wrestling business. You know, apparently Billy Jack Haynes um charged was basically found in a case. He was involved in a case about a murder, and Too Cold Scorpio actually was a name brought up in a stabbing incident. Yeah, he's a veteran of the ring, and I think, you know, they say never meet your heroes, but sometimes there can be an exception. But in AEW, I have nothing against him. I may critique about Tony Khan so many times, like, you know, I may joke about it, but I have nothing against Tony Khan personally. It's just I critique his business practices. His mannerisms seem questionable, but AEW has a fine line between alive live wrestlers and live characters that they share in the ring. And I do not know what I just said right there. It was basically the wrestlers and the fans. The fans, or marks, people might call them, think they know everything. I'm considered a mark. If you guys don't know, I'm considered a mark, or pro wrestling mark, because there are the international wrestling, the internet wrestling community is literally a bunch of wrestling fans that want to they fantasy book. They book whatever they want. They mark. They're basically a mark. Like I'm a CM Punk mark. I am a LA Knight mark. I am a Randy Orton mark. all those wrestlers that I'm a mark of. But and even I was a Goldberg mark at one. Did I suggest for him to go over the Fiend? No. Because at that point I knew about the wrestling business. Understood the wrestling business and kayfabe and going over, you know, because Goldberg says he's open for one last match, which I do respect. But is this last match gonna be in AEW or is it gonna be in WWE? Most like to me, possibly WWE because AEW he says is too cheesy, which I understand. I understand that, but it's up to him. Never say never in wrestling. You know, there are a lot of wrestlers that have come and gone during the wrestling business, during WWE, AEW, NWA, TNA, ROH, MLW, that have been through a lot and told their stories about being in the ring or sharing the locker room with somebody. And people like Brett, it still has a disdain for Goldberg. I mean, understandably so, because he quote ended his career, ended his in-ring career with a botched kick to the face. You know, I'm really gone to admire his work, but I don't admire the fact that he almost, you know, respect to him, how he botched a jackhammer on the Undertaker, or he concussing himself, hitting butting the door. Yeah, that's tough. Like I get it. You are a tough guy. You're basically a tough guy. You're displayed as a tough guy. But like hitting your head on the door is like really, what's the word to call it? Somewhat too cliche because if you hit your head on the door, like one time he hit his head on the door right before Raw, right before he went out to I'm just okay. Before on Monday Night Raw back in 2017, he headbutted the door and he just like he had red. He basically busted himself open. Busted himself open. I mean, he concussed himself hitting the locker room door before the Saudi Arabia match at Super Showdown. People will never forget. Wrestling fans will never forget stuff like that. But a lot of people won't forget about how Cody Rhodes wrestled Roman Reigns and won the undisputed title. We will never forget that. The Montreal Screwjob, we will never forget that. And of course, the screw job not the screw job in Glasgow, that's scripted, but the aftermath of the XPW, the hardcore fans would know about the XPW ECW feud, where XPW stars or the person running it, who was actually um what's it? He was running it. He was basically his experiences in pornography, actually, but photography in porn. And apparently, there are a lot of wrestlers and promoters that sometimes not get a bad rap from you don't get a you don't get a bad reputation from wrestlers that just speak out. You know, there was this guy named Ian Rotten. Ian Rotten basically was exposed for allegedly, I'm not going to say it's true, I'm just saying that's alleged relationship with Mickey Knuckles behind his wife's back. Um, then selling unprescribed drugs to J.C. Bailey, who was a deathmatch wrestler, which IWA Mid South that Ian Rotten was running, that based it on. It's deathmatch wrestling. Before Ian Rotten even started IWA Mid South, he was a ECW original. But but the facts say that he has made an impact, good and bad. Bad because there is all these allegations against him. Good because he basically contributed to the wrestling business in a way. Bad and good, there's of all parts. Like I'll say about Vince Series. Yeah, I had him a couple times, and I've had good relations with him. I have good talks with him. He is a down to earth guy. You may see he's a tough guy. He's a big muscle dude, or what Grimm says, no bicep, no ball. But he's a down to earth dude. He's been in the wrestling business for over 25 years, and I do respect that the heart that he was given to be in the wrestling business. He is a marvel. Yes, he is a marvel of the wrestling business. Any veteran, the oldest wrestler, fun fact, the oldest wrestler who's still wrestling to this day is Bushwhacker Luke. Bushwhacker Luke. See, that's a WWE Hall of Famer right there. Bushwhacker Luke. He's like in his 60s now, and he's still wrestling to this day. He's been wrestling since 1962. That's talking about like the early territory days, like the territory days back in the 60s, where NWA had different territories all over the United States. And Bushwhacker Luke had a lot of memories throughout all around where he wrestled. You know, I can admit something right now. I've contacted people or agents of people, to get them on the podcast. You know, they most of them ask for money, which I'm not a problem. I respect them. I used to be like a little stickler, and just be repetitive, which I do apologize for the people that I've like messaged in the DMs. I feel like I was a little unprofessional when it comes down to it. Um, you know, there are a lot of things that there's a lot of things that you might not come back from, that you might regret, even though you didn't think at the time. There are a lot of wrestlers in this business that sometimes do something that they don't mean to at the time, but they kind of get bit in the ass later about it. There are a lot of contingencies during storylines in real life. Like WWE is blending fiction and reality now, which I love. Like with the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre bit. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, they bringing back blood. They bring back blood this year, like more often than they would. No longer you're gonna get fined for blading. There are a lot of like work shoots, which I do love. They bring in back stuff that they turn into storyline. Like I talked to Brad Dad, where he basically had his wristband. Basically, he lost his wristband. He lost his wristbands. He forgot to bring his wristbands. And he basically worked it, and he was behind a heel, and he talked about, oh, I'm not gonna wrestle. I'm not gonna wrestle. Nobody's gonna move until I get my arm pad, my elbow pad. You know, you know. All right, but I'll say this: there are a smorgasbord of more wrestlers that have yet to break out in the mainstream. You know, there are, you know, there are a lot of superstars. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess change of plans. Um, hold on a second. Apparently, Pita Kid, I just the guest that was supposed to come on today. Apparently it's really. I don't want to. I feel like I could say what they do DMs. He's been really extremely busy. So he's kind of really, what's it called? It's been like tied up with a lot of things. So his emergency. So apparently, so we kind of rescheduled two times. So we actually rescheduled it, and this he I guess he has a lot of stuff on his plate, which I do understand. I've Mike Goldstein when I was trying to when I was trying to get him for the podcast, I basically kind of told him, do it on your time. I kept rescheduling, and it was a lot of different times that he would reschedule, and I sometimes would get like perturbed about it, but I completely understand. I honestly understand what you're going through, the kid. Um, we could reschedule anytime you would like. Um, hopefully you're hopefully hopefully it doesn't get hopefully we'll see you on the hopefully we'll see you on the podcast soon because I think looking forward to talking to you, talking about the stuff that you have coming up. But you know, again, I understand what you're going through. Um so So I think he meant this morning. So it was morning. So so he basically, I guess, had like one last like something came up. So I had something come up several times before. Um, you know, I rescheduled stuff with Mike Goldstein where he basically I had to reschedule with a lot of he has a busy schedule where sometimes I was live. I think I was live and I was set to go live until I got to reschedule. But like I said, I get real somewhat annoyed by it. But now I'm not really annoyed by it now because it's something that you have to do in the wrestling. It's something I guess most either in the wrestling business or in personal business or maybe some other business that needs to attend to because you know I care about people. Hold on a second. Um, need to all right, but I'll talk to you guys about the rough stuff with the wrestling business. I'm not gonna end the stream here. Um, I'm gonna do 8.5. I'm not gonna delete the stream because there would be no point of doing another stream and like deleting this stream and then doing another one. But I'm gonna do it 28.5, and hopefully that when we do get rescheduled, whatever that date may be, so um anyway, I'm kind of a pro wrestling historian. For the people that before I get into that, what about her, Shafiq? I I do remember you, dude. Of course I do remember you. Um, I remember you because you were back in 2020. I remember you. You'd occasionally come my streams, um, but not in recent memory. You have, but occasionally if you would like step on in. And I think I remember you. It was in 2020 where you kind of you wanted to get an editor for me, or like get like a song, like I think I remember you asked me once on a Kahoot stream where I showed off their song and I guess it was an agreement where was trying to make me an intro. I think that might have been the verbal agreement on the stream. Um, I was able to do it on stream before I think my phone died. So I believe that I remember that. I may be wrong, Potter, but yeah. Apparently I was supposed to have a guest on today, but due to stuff that is outside, that is personal or business, or like most likely personal because it said some type of an emergency, which I understand. Yes, bro, and my friend Sarah John and Yayan. Yeah. Um, I'm just kind of I'm just gonna do a 28 28 was it episode 28.5 so I can do a continuation. Your memory is top notch. Uh, top notch. I don't think so, but not to me. You know, there was this other guy that came on my stream. I think it was yesterday, and basically asked if he remembered him, if I remembered him. I think it was Baldface with no without Wi-Fi or with no Wi-Fi, and I kind of guessed. I was trying to like. I think there was one of the guys that was trying to friend me on Fortnite when I had that downloaded still. I don't have it downloaded now, but I do still have Minecraft down. So, yeah. But for the people that have that want to talk about wrestling, um, pro wrestling. I'll just for the new people that want to just that don't know what pro wrestling is. So it all started with circus, with like you know circus acts and stunts and trapeze artists and the ringleader and strongman competitions. That's the branch that pro wrestling actually came from, the WWE type of wrestling. But there's also some other wrestling, amateur wrestling. That's what it's called. I met an amateur wrestler or a captain of the wrestling, Adrian. Adrian. I think his name is last name Serrano. I feel like I might be kind of saying it out loud, but Adrian, I remember, when I was like going in the grad walk and I was sitting next to him and I said, I was curious about joining the wrestling team. And I was asking like Coach Young about, the qualifications and stuff you know, and he told me like the physical and he asked me, "Oh, you want to go after school?" Or like go after school and kind of like watch you train or like practice. Um, but I would have loved it. I should have joined the wrestling team in my night in my freshman year. I would have gave it a shot if I wasn't willing to if I'm not wasn't fit. I would have I feel like I would have had an upstart in pro wrestling if I ever went into pro wrestling, which I would love to do. I honestly don't care about how much bumps I take. I don't know how many. I don't know. I don't care how much like danger it is in. I just want to perform. I just want to perform for people. I don't care if it would be 10,000 people. I don't care if it's 50,000 people. I don't care if it's 50 people. I want to perform in front of y'all. And this YouTube channel is kind of some type of entertainment. Like YouTubers have they have their own personality, they have their own unique way of developing ideas for videos and their own mannerisms and their own catchphrases. And I've been on this platform for close to a decade, like on and off. I was kind of like I said some stuff like, "Oh, if I get 5 subscribers, I'm gonna sell one of my game consoles." Um, I said kind of, which I didn't really know much about YouTube at the time and the algorithm, but now I do, and I'm not here to just scoff to scoff at the fact that I will never make it big, but I just want to at least I have an audience. I've grown an audience during the pandemic. I was grown an audience from the pandemic, from June, from when school was out in 2020, when the shortly after COVID hit, and everybody started coming in and you know wanted to, and I did it daily to the point of my 18th birthday, and I had a blast doing it, and I had a blast with all of you, whoever is watching, from YouTube channel for the even new people that are just trying to tune in just to watch Pita Kid or watch GTS wrestlers be on the podcast. You know, there are so many YouTubers I watch. Some may you not even heard of. Some may you do heard of. It depends on the audience. Like top 15s with the number 15 Burger King foot lettuce, or some other YouTubers like Real Life Lore, which is an educational YouTube channel. Basically talks about the world and like more in depth and like the government, like history, geography, all that stuff. Geography now I used to watch on and off, and I on both Sunday. Uh, sure. Seems. Hold on. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, um, I was gonna say different YouTubers have their own followers, like how people in different avenues, like in businessmen, like government officials, and all other different avenues, different ventures, like how Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay and Jordan, like Jamie Oliver, um, and Guy Fieri. But I'm gonna say, with the guards right now, that I appreciate all of you watching, even if you had to put up with me for 4 years, for the people that have been part of this channel during the pandemic, and for the people that are just joining us from other socials. I appreciate your presence, and I accept you as people and friends. You know, friends are like family. Family you can't replace, but friends can be family in a term like that. But back to when I was, you see two me's, one on my. Why did you put me on your TV and your tablet? Answer that, Marshall. Or Death Trap is in the chat right now. Um, you know, apparently, Marshall, he's gonna reschedule it to Sunday. I'm just asking him if it's around the same time. You know, would you be up for Sunday? What if I put my tablet facing you, then face yourself? Wait, hold on. Would that screw up the space time continuum and open up a portal and you enter a new flashpoint? But I would be talking to myself. You would literally be facing me talking to myself. Oh, so are you good with that? Are you? Would you want to join with me on Sunday whenever? Wouldn't it ruin my retirement? Who said you retired, Marshall? Who said? You may have said that before, but in wrestling, you're not Shawn Michaels. You're Marshall fucking Danger. That's who you're. You know, you're not Shawn. At least with like Shawn Michaels, you're not gonna have a botch filled match. I'll join on my phone. Oh my god, no. God darn you. Why are you gonna have, don't do it. Oh my god, no. You see, I don't have a retirement either. Would I be considered retired when I wasn't doing wrestling around episodes? No. I wasn't retired. Never say never in wrestling. You know that, Marshall. Who said you had to retire forever? Darn you. Oh my god. This really drifted off track here. Oh. Um I'm gonna keep this up. Uh, please don't tell me you got another one. I see 4. Or is that another different person joining? Why? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Seriously. I could I don't want a family member to come in and just like, what in the hell are you watching? Oh, talking about that. Dijak apparently is leaving WWE. He's gonna be not under contract by tomorrow. That that was a waste of a draft pick. Mm. You know, I just want. Oh, oh. Mm. I'm gonna do stuff here that I was just drinking my WWE's gonna go down a hole now. It's kind of a good thing, don't you think? Because there's a lot of wrestlers on the WWE roster. And none of them, some of them don't even get the light of day. I've said, we were talking about that when Grim was on. We both were here and when Grim was on. And we talked about the releases. The first question we asked him was the releases that took place in 2021. That same day we were interviewing. And I took note of something. It's not the end of their careers. But I could see somebody there, wanting their release because they're not getting used or they're not comfortable. Just like how Andrade was in AEW. Like I think Malachi Black is right now. But I'll tell you for certain, Marshall, there are a lot of stuff to talk about the WWE. Apparently, let's see. All right. So let me tell you, why did you join on 3 separate accounts? I'm asking. Seriously, why did you join on 3 separate accounts? What? How is that what's the motive of doing that? What do you want to just feel like you're in a futuristic movie? I don't know. Hold on. I wonder if I could actually reschedule it. Wonder if I could. Hold on a second. Maybe I could. 1 second. Maybe I could do another live stream on here. All right. That's gonna take place Sunday, June 30th. Hopefully. All right. Just setting it up here. Hopefully he gets back to me soon. In regards to that, I'm gonna hold on. Well, I have an idea, a suggestion only if you wanna. What suggestion are you talking about? Alright, let me alright, hold on. Tell me your idea. I've been playing Dicky games for a bit on my tablet. When you need when you need something to watch for fun, maybe you would like to watch me kill zombies or survive in the wild or survive prison. Hmm, that would be interesting, huh? But I but it'd probably be boring for you. But just the thought though. I'm not gonna say it's boring. Alright, alright. So just send out another stream, send out another thing, you know? Um, I mean, there's a lot of games that you showed me, the damn Dicky games. It can be boring, but if you want to see, let me know, right? Again, I said it was boring. The damn Dicky games are somewhat funny when you showed me that little school days game that he made. Um, but you didn't answer my question from earlier. Pita Kid was gonna wanting to join Sunday. I'm gonna do it Sunday instead of today. Are you willing to do it on Sunday? I will do your match wanted to watch Mad Digging Games after this stream goes off in a few minutes. Um I was I was good. I got something planned. Got something planned, but I'll be watching. You're watching. I was good. Okay, I'm just saying. You don't have to. I'm just saying. Your retirement. It's not. You're not. You can't retire forever. I'm just saying. It's not a retirement. I need to pull the retirement card now. That's what I was asking of you. Since you know about Pita Kid, since you know a lot about Pita Kid, you were watching GTS in the older days at the time. Evan was watching it now, but you know, it would be special. And you see how Edge was retired? He came back and then he's now he's wrestling in AEW now. He's still wrestling, you know? Um Conspirators. Whoa, YouTube has a triangle, aka a pyramid. Oh gee, YouTube is Illuminati. I don't know. I don't know why he said that. Um, but so what everybody has a price. I don't know what you're saying right now. Everybody has a price. You're talking like a man. But here's the thing. Didn't you complete? But didn't you disregard the retirement when you? Do you want to? But do you want to pick which one? But do you want to pick which one? I'll give you multiple choice. Multiple choice. What is multiple choice? What do you? What do you mean by which choice? Right. What is a which multiple choice thing? Mm. What? Mm. Hmm. Wonder which hole. I wonder what it is. Ooh. Oh. Um. I think School Days was a better one, but I'm gonna I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna do Testaments as a simulation and you could try out all the rest of them. I'm gonna end the stream. For the people that are watching later on, for watching for Pita Kid, we're just gonna be rescheduled for Sunday. We'll have to talk. Me and him are just negotiating on. All right, I'll I'll see you guys in